morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're now tuned in to episode 87 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're listening or watching on Spotify podcasts or Apple Podcasts, make sure you hit that like button, save it to your device, smash that subscribe button, and send it to a loved one or an arch nemesis. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, because it's the number one way to watch the Good Luck podcast, make sure you tickle that like button, smash the ever-loving fuck out of that subscribe button, and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment. Because, well, you're an oil man. And, we're going to talk about oil men later in the show. Let's get right into it. It's been an absolute fucking nightmare of a week. As you guys know, I live in Los Angeles, and the city is on fire. Los Angeles is, we've had these insane wildfires all week. I'm personally safe. I live in kind of the east of Hollywood area. So fortunately have not been directly impacted. But loved ones, good friends of mine, have either been, forced to evacuate, have lost everything. We'll kind of get into it. It's going to be a bit of a different format to this week's show. We are going to still have the FOH HOF, don't worry. But we're gonna kind of get right into this because I haven't really been able to think about much else, do anything else. It has been absolutely fucking devastating. It has been devastating. I barely slept. I'm a mess. This week's been horrifying. Let's kind of get right into the fires. We are gonna turn it over to GNN, as this is a GNN breaking news report, special weather report. So let's hand it on over to GNN. Welcome to GNN, your leading source of news, weather, and this week, natural disasters and just super fucked up news. So let's turn it over to Gino Bori, who's standing by with the news. Gino? Thank you, Gino the Ghost. Hi, I'm Gino Bori. You're watching GNN, and this is the news. All right, let's talk about these wildfires. So, how it all started. It started in the Pacific Palisades. The wildfires ignited in the Pacific Palisades on January 7th, about 4 days ago, near the Santa Ynez Reservoir. Dry vegetation, high winds, unusually low humidity created the perfect cocktail for this fucking fire to start and grow uncontrollably. They don't know how it started. I would imagine it's probably faulty power lines or something like that. But anyway, we had a spot fire, and then within 20 minutes, the fire spread from 10 acres to 200 acres. And within a couple hours, the fire had spread across 500 acres, forcing mandatory evacuations in affluent Palisades neighborhoods. It spread so fast. It was so violently fast that, imagine these people did not have time to pack anything to get out of there. I remember seeing there's a fire in the Palisades. No, it's wildfire. Wildfires normally don't happen this time of year. That's crazy. And then literally maybe 30 minutes later, it's I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, holy fuck, it's the whole. So it tore through the Palisades. It reached the PCH in Malibu. And over the next couple days, just completely jumped containment lines, driven by these Santa Ana winds, hurricane force winds over 100 miles an hour, which we've never seen like this. And then within a day, all these spot fires started emerging over LA County, including a significant fire in Altadena. So there was another huge fire that spanned over 10,000 acres in Pasadena and Altadena, and wiped out a good portion of that community as well. I mean, so if you've never been to Los Angeles, in the Pacific Palisades, like even people who have lived here for a while, many people haven't been to the Palisades. It is like the most beautiful part of California. It is so gorgeous. Malibu is so beautiful. The PCH is this like famous historic highway that runs parallel rather with the ocean, like along the ocean. And there's all these like beautiful beachfront homes and like these mom and pop shops that have just been there forever that sell like, like restaurants and little motel pop-ups. And my favorite Thai place, Chelada Thai, burned to the ground. Super fucking devastating. Just so horrible, man. And the Palisades are gone. They're completely gone. Like 80% of it, I think, is floored. Completely. Leveled. And there was just nothing that could be done. It was so fast. It happened so fast, and the winds were so strong that they couldn't send the helicopters up. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, again, they don't know how all these fires started. It was likely a combination of like faulty power lines, negligence, in some smaller cases, arson for sure. You don't know. But those catalysts mixed with the extreme weather and conditions caused by climate change created this like tinderbox situation. There was the Runyon fire scare. Again, I've been pretty much unaffected by these fires, but randomly one night, this huge fire started above Sunset in like the Runyon Canyon area. And it, again, so fast, was moving so uncontrollably that people were like worried it was going to spill onto Sunset Boulevard and like to my place. In my backyard, I have like a bunch of power lines and trees connected, like touching those power lines. My Wi-Fi is constantly going out because the fucking tree is like hitting against it. So I'm tripping. I'm packing a bag to evacuate. My parents and my aunts and my uncles are like blowing me up, and so fucking scary. Fortunately, they got that one under control. But combined, these fires have scorched nearly 40,000 acres, destroyed over 12,000 structures, over 150,000 residents displaced. Like 11 people have died. That's reported. That number is probably way higher because they can't even go and check to see if there's bodies like burned. They need to send in like dental, I don't know the name of it, but like people to like go find remains. It's just like, dude, it's fucked. So, as if this isn't bad enough, after all this finally calms down, which could be days, by the way, there's still crazy winds that are supposed to come in early next week. As soon as this ends, the debris flow that we're going to see once the rain finally comes is going to be even like more catastrophe. As soon as the rain comes, it's going to create so much more carnage and wreckage as all this debris and material will be washed down into these neighborhoods and destroy more homes with potentially more casualties. You're going to have structures and homes and fucking metal objects just pouring down the mountains onto these people. It's going to be a disaster. And the air quality is horrible. It's the worst air you can possibly breathe. You're breathing in highly toxic fumes from plastic and laminates burning. This isn't like just a forest fire where it's like trees burning. It's like paint and carcinogens. And these toxins can last in the air for a super long time and stretch well beyond evacuation zones. I put a video on my Instagram where I'm like coming inside, I'm wearing a mask. Motherfuckers are trying to clown me for wearing a mask. Yeah, nice mask, libtard cuck. Dude, Yeah, sorry, it's literally raining toxic ash outside. Sorry, I have an N95 mask so I don't do irreversible lung damage, you stupid fuck. So, all right, this is happening. It's terrible. Obviously, the narrative starts to move to how the fuck could this happen? Could this have been prevented? And naturally, all eyes turn to California leadership, namely Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass, right? So, like anything, there's just a bevy of misinformation on the internet. And I like to fact check everything that I see before jumping to conclusions. My initial knee-jerk reaction is, like everybody's, how the fuck was California not prepared for this? How could this have gotten, obviously you can't prevent a wildfire, but how could it get so big? How could it not be contained, right? So the first piece of misinformation that starts circulating is that the LAFD cut its budget by $17 million this year, right before the fires, okay? Now, technically, this is false. The LAFD budget actually grew this year, and this budget cut was an excess budget thing that was added to the budget, which was basically like a bunch of gear that they had to buy last year. They already have it, so they don't have to buy it again, so they cut that item off the budget. The next piece is that firefighting and forest management budget was cut by Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom has upped the firefighting and forest management budget by over 10 times since taking office. Okay? So I think, yes, he may have cut the budget this year, but it's up 10 times. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I think I'm just so exhausted by the over politicization of fucking everything, and to get on the internet and see people using this tragedy to further your political agenda is just so fucking scummy. It's one thing if you're like a frustrated Angelino and you're like, how could this have happened? You know, there are people who are like, the fire hydrants didn't have water in my neighborhood. Like, how could this have happened? How are we not prepared? If that's what you want, that's one thing. But to go around and be like, whoop, fucking Democrats. Thanks a lot, Democrats. It's just like, and to do so by lying and pushing misinformation is so fucking irresponsible and scummy. You know, there's that huge reservoir by the Palisades, and it was out of commission. It was empty. And everybody was saying like, yeah, Gavin Newsom drained that reservoir because he wanted to save some rare fish. It's like, no, dude. It was out of commission for nearly a year due to contamination issues. I know that because I spent the 13 seconds it took to research it. Now, the reservoir being empty directly impacted the availability of water for firefighting efforts in the Palisades. It made it, I mean, again, it was a perfect cocktail of just everything happening so fast, the winds being so strong, and them not being adequately prepared. It can be both. Do you know what I'm saying? Fire hydrants in several areas failed during critical moments of the firefight, leaving crews scramble for alternate resources. Apparently, Gavin Newsom doesn't know how that happened. It's under investigation, you know, but that can't happen. And, you know, Gavin Newsom's response, while proactive in ordering investigations and like, you know, it's been criticized for being too little, too late. Not cleaning up the brush, prescription burns that people were, to Trump's credit, he was right. You know, we should have been doing these prescription burns, not being thoroughly prepared. it is valid to have criticisms for leadership when these things happen. But the reality is, no amount of preparation could have prevented this from happening. They absolutely should have been more prepared. Yes. And it could have helped the spread. Yes. But these events are called natural disasters for a reason. All this to try and distract from the actual blame here, which is nature and climate change. And that's right. That's going to be the main thing we talk about today, is climate change. Because once again, this has found its way to be at the ethos of this argument that shouldn't be an argument. Some have argued that these fires are completely unrelated to climate change and instead attribute them to simply being poor forest management or conspiracy theory claims about direct energy weapons, like in Maui. You fucking brain-dead idiots. However, data and science paint a clear picture and have been painting a clear, vivid, beautiful photograph for years. The intensity and frequency of wildfires in California have dramatically increased due to climate change. And if you think climate change is a hoax and you're listening to this, or you doubt the significance of it, and you're ready to roll your eyes, I am begging you to just listen. Just have an open mind to what I'm saying. I spent a lot of fucking time researching about this. Not just for this episode, but for over a decade. I did an argumentative essay in college to get my degree for this that took me 5 months. I mean, writing the essay didn't take me 5 months, but the whole fucking... Anyway, all right. Getting into it. Let's talk about how climate changes fuel fires. Drier conditions. In California, the climate is becoming drier and hotter, creating an abundance of dead vegetation. Ideal wildfire fuel. It is the perfect fuel for a wildfire. This is why people have been saying we should be, cleaning the underbrush and doing these, these burns, as they say. And so that's one of the main Tinders, fire starters, right? Prolonged fire season. The fire season now extends nearly year round with hotter autumn months, drier winters. Again, January is not supposed to be wildfire time, but we've added 80 some days to fire season now because the climate is changing. Record heat. The past decade has seen some of the hottest years on record in California, contributing to tinderbox conditions, and most importantly, high winds. Climate change intensifies wind patterns, like the Santa Ana winds, which rapidly spread flames, like the fire tornadoes that we saw over the past few days. A 2022 study in Science magazine revealed that climate change has contributed to nearly half the increase in the aridity of California's forests over the past 50 years. Rising temperatures mean more evaporation, less soil moisture, drier plants, all of which make fire nearly impossible to control. Climate change models, which have been developed as far back as the 70s, have consistently predicted rising global temperatures, extreme weather events, and increased frequency of wildfires. A Nature study in 2019 confirmed that climate models used over the past 5 decades have been remarkably accurate. For example, ExxonMobil's own internal scientists predicted global warming trends as early as 1982. So why didn't we act on it? We've got all this science. Why, despite the scientific findings, why aren't we acting on it? Well, despite ExxonMobil's own scientific findings, the fossil fuel industry chose to launch misinformation campaigns against climate change and lobby government officials instead. Somehow, in my lifetime, I've watched climate change become a partisan issue. You have too. It never used to be like this. When did planet Earth dying become a party issue? Let's rewind the clock. In the 20th century, climate change was barely a partisan issue. Republican leaders like George H.W. Bush, John McCain supported environmental initiatives. But over time, lobbying by fossil fuel industries created a narrative associating environmental regulations with job losses and economic stagnation, alienating conservatives. People want to act like climate change is made up by leftist elites with no actual evidence, while ignoring how fossil fuel companies, the most powerful industries, directly fund and benefit from climate change denial. If you want to distrust power, maybe start there. Big oil is basically big tobacco. Big oil has been running a misinformation campaign since the 80s. Major companies like ExxonMobil, Shell, and Chevron invest billions with a B into lobbying and misinformation campaigns to downplay climate change and the science behind climate change. The merchants of doubt strategy, borrowed from big tobacco itself, aim to sow doubt about climate science, emphasize uncertainty to delay regulation, maintain their profit margins, and their big fat bonus checks. Not to save jobs. It's fucking trickle-down economics again, dude. They're not taking the money that they're saving from environmental. They're not taking it to save jobs. They want bigger bonuses. That's what they're lobbying for. But you knew that already. A 2020 report revealed that big oil has poured billions into think tanks, pseudoscientific research, climate denial organizations, and media outlets that question the validity of climate models and push narratives such as climate change is natural and cyclical. Carbon emissions are not significant drivers of warming. Fossil fuel companies have spent heavily on political lobbying to prevent climate legislation. In 2022 alone, the American Petroleum Institute spent $124 million lobbying Congress, lining people's pockets. You want to talk about drain the fucking swamp? Does it get any swampier? I got swamp ass just thinking about it. They also back candidates and organizations that prioritize deregulation over environmental policy. Maybe you remember like Green New Deal, global warming conspiracy. It's all used to stoke fear of socialism and government overreach and blah, 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 blah. Dude, elections are all about division. And politicians have managed to sow division about protecting the planet for everyone, despite seeing the consequences in real time. Instead of acknowledging, wow, the earth really is fucked up, they instead use natural disasters as an opportunity to blame left issues like DEI and budget cuts, despite their platform running on cutting government spending. Huh? And this isn't me making it a political issue. I'm trying to show you how fucking absurd it is that while my city is burning down, people are trying to make it a failure by the Democratic Party. And that's why it's burning down. Yeah, dude, the city's burning down because of DEI hires. Yeah, that's what's happening. You're right. It's all those woke policies and not the 100-mile-an-hour Santa Ana winds brushing up flaming tornadoes from the driest conditions in the history of California. You're right. Let me take a sip of unbranded water. We're just getting fucking started, dude. I'm fired up. Pun intended. Wildfires are costing billions annually. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration reported $165 billion in damages from climate-related disasters in 2022 alone. In only a few days, the fires in Los Angeles have caused $60 billion in damages. That was as of a few days ago. That number is probably closer to $100 billion now. Half of that is uninsured damages because insurance companies decided they should cancel everybody's insurance last year because, well, it's too risky for the business with the climate being so fucked up. Yeah, there's so many fires in California because of climate change. It's not really financially responsible for us to insure people's homes. So big oil acknowledges that there's climate change issues. The insurance companies acknowledge that there's climate change issues. Well, what's going on? Meanwhile, big oil has had profits soar. Exxon reported $55 billion in profits a couple years ago. The communities, meanwhile, are bearing the brunt of the climate disasters with limited resources to recover. There's just so much misinformation out there about climate change from these misinformation campaigns and the propaganda, misleading claims that Earth's climate has always changed. Well, this has always happened. There's always been fires in California. Well, climate change is cyclical. It's been hot. These narratives are ignoring the unprecedented speed and scale of current changes due to human activity. It is factually incorrect. And then there's this narrative that the scientists are divided on this. A lack of consensus amongst the scientific community, despite 97% of climate scientists agreeing that humans are the primary cause of recent climate change. They all agree that there's a climate change issue. 97% agree it's humans as the primary cause. Or my favorite one, climate policies will destroy the economy. Yeah, dude. That's what'll destroy the economy. Not the $100 billion in damages or 150,000 people suddenly no longer having homes. And that's not to mention what's going on with hurricanes and all the other fucking natural disasters that are causing economic catastrophes. Economies destroyed and wiped out. But funding climate change science and that'll really fucking kill the economy. No, or will it just have an executive have one less beach house? In conclusion, the Los Angeles fires, they're just another wake-up call about the devastating impact of climate change and the long-term consequences of corporate misinformation. Propaganda from the big machine. While big oil profits, the world burns, literally. I'm watching it happen in real time here. Yes, our leaders can prepare better. Gavin, Newsom, Karen Bass, you got some splaining to do, but to truly protect our planet and prevent these natural disasters from being even more disastrous, we have to hold corporations accountable and also combat the false narrative that hinder progress. Because for me, putting out all this misinformation has been like fucking putting out fires. I feel like I've been putting out misinformation fires all week, dude. Only then can we address the climate crisis with the urgency that it demands. I need a sip of fucking unbranded water, dude. And you know, I can't even go on my comment section. I've been getting so fucking pissed off online. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put on the Pit Vipers for this because I'm about to fucking. You thought I was fired up then with that segment? I got a little bit more in the tank. Yeah, I got a little bit more in me. You know who the worst type of people are? The worst type of people are the, well, you voted for this people. You post about the devastation. I lost my home. My grandmother died in the fire. And there's a comment. I bet you voted for this. Nobody voted for this. Okay? Nobody voted for inclement weather patterns and 100-mile-an-hour winds and 50,000 acres of damages. Nobody voted for the biggest wildfire in the history of California. Okay? And if anything, the argument could be made voting for conservatives that took lobby money from big oil to cut budgets towards environmental programs. If anything, you could argue that. Now motherfuckers want to blame Democrats for, let me just check the notes here, cutting government spending on the environment, even though they didn't, by the way. You don't see me dunking on hurricane victims in Florida because they voted in DeSantis, who cut over $1 billion in stormwater and flooding funding. Do you know why I'm not doing that? Because this isn't a political issue. And if you want to bring up politics right now, go fuck yourself with the large, sharp object. Who are you fighting? Dude, like, really think about it. Really zoom out. What the fuck are you talking about? Is your entire genetic makeup your political party? You see people's lives destroyed, and the first thing you think of, I bet they voted Democrat. Go fuck yourself with a sharp, pointy, long object. Maybe it's got a little curvature at the end, too. Really get in there. These fires are a very complex issue that requires a lot of nuance to unpack. Your first reaction shouldn't be to get political because odds are you don't know what the fuck you're actually talking about. You probably know this much about the climate, and you definitely know this much about the fire department budget. You probably know this much about fire prevention, wildlife, deforestation tactics, and preventative burns, and what California's doing about that. You probably don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you're just recycling a post that you saw online blindly with no actual research, because you don't do that, do you? You don't take 21 seconds to Google if something's true or not. You've never read a budget before, except for the one that you made on Rocket Money or QuickBooks in your Notes app. The only thing cornier than using this tragedy as an opportunity to push a political agenda is dunking on people who lost everything because they live in California. Oh yeah, all those fucking celebrities out in California. Too bad. LA is arguably the hardest place to live in the United States. It's expensive as fuck, okay? And everybody is here trying to do the thing. Most people left everything to come here. And many people have just lived here their whole life and are just working class people that were born here. Okay? Everybody here isn't rich or a movie star. Many people are like me, who moved out here with nothing and grinded their fucking ass off for a decade to achieve success. Then they do, and people are cheering at them for losing everything? Really? Oh, they have insurance, they'll be fine. Hundreds of thousands of people don't actually. Actually, half the people don't have home insurance because insurance companies cut their home insurance. Why? Because of the change in climate. And now, because of these fires, insurance is going to be even harder to get, even more expensive. And don't forget, the people whose houses burned to the ground that you're victory lapping around because they live in California, they still have to pay their mortgage. They still have to pay their property taxes. And they don't have insurance. What's the point of insurance if they can pull the fucking rug on you at any time after years of paying your premium? Don't even get me fucking started on the insurance companies. I don't have time this episode. I am so fucking sick of reading comments from NPCs. I don't feel bad for celebrities. Sorry, I don't feel bad. Most of these people are hardworking, middle-class people who lost everything. And even if they were celebrities with money, you shouldn't celebrate them losing everything that they've worked so hard for. And the dumbest things I'm seeing, I haven't even got to the tip of the fucking stupid iceberg. God is not to be mocked. Hollywood deserves this for all the evil that they've spread. I bet, is it any coincidence that with all the Diddy stuff going on, these fires randomly popped up? You have to wonder, was this to burn the evidence of the Diddy case? Yeah, dude. The Illuminati used their evil satellite space laser to burn 40,000 fucking acres to destroy all the Diddy evidence. Scattered across Los Angeles like the Da Vinci Code for some kind of fucking pedophile treasure hunt. Do you hear yourself? Surely you can't believe the things that you're thinking, right? Practically, right? This is karma. What you're seeing is karma over the dark cloud that rests over Los Angeles. Dude, you're a fucking loser. You'll always be a loser. Talking about karma. Like you don't have a meteor of karma barreling down at you full speed for saying something this dumb. www.dumbfuck.com. We're all one tragedy away from losing everything. Good friends of mine who have busted their ass for a decade to make it in music, to have a music career. Heavy Mellow, Rex Kudo. These people have grinded their ass off and lost everything overnight. Their studio, all their equipment. Cisco Adler, his studio wiped out. And people want to fucking dunk on them. Dude, dunking on thousands of people because you failed at your own dreams is not going to bring them back. Come in. Come closer. Really look at me when I say this. You're a loser. Sorry, guys, I just blacked out. This shit gets me so fucking fired up, man. Let me take off the pitties. Let's wind down a little bit. Let's get into everyone's favorite segment. Let's unload with the FOH HOF. Yeah, I think that'd be good for everybody. All right, here's the first video. Yeah, let's make fun of an entrepreneur, bro. I think we can all heal. We can all unite on this front. So here it is.
I shake men's hands I give women hugs. If we're not gonna hug, just stay away from me. As a man, you are literally taught eye contact, firm handshake, up, down, let go. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that to a girl. I'll crush your fucking hand. And then they always like grab it weird because they were never taught to handshake. So it's like you're grabbing the strong hand of some fucking girl and it's just like fucking weird. No, absolutely not. When a guy gives me a limp handshake, I'll make him do it again. If I walk up and I go to shake a man's hand and it's a bad handshake, I'm like, no, one more time.
Dude, first of all, settle down, all right?
I shake men's hands. I give women hugs. If we're not gonna hug, just stay away from me.
Can I get a hug? Ass boy, you know? Yo, can I get a hug? Ladies, I know you know a guy like that, right? Yo, what's up? Can I get a hug? Imagine him just like walking into a fucking business meeting, you know? Imagine Kratos here walking into a meeting with a woman and being like, so you aren't going to give me a hug? What's up? Can I get a hug? You know? If we aren't going to hug, get the fuck out of here. Stay away from me.
I shake men's hands. I give women hugs. If we're not going to hug, just stay away from me.
If we're not going to hug, just stay away from me. I think you're doing her a favor, bud. This guy has no idea how to shake hands with a woman, so he resorts to coercing her into an awkward hug instead. You know? It's just the creepiest thing I've ever heard.
I shake men's hands. I give women hugs. If we're not going to hug, just stay away from me. As a man, you are literally taught eye contact, firm handshake, up, down, let go. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that to a girl. I'll crush your fucking hand.
I'll crush your fucking hand, dude. I think bro is vastly overestimating his strength. You know, guy thinks he's the Incredible Hulk. I'm not gonna shake her hand. I will literally crush her into dust. Shake her hand. I'll shatter her bones like Mr. Glass. Dude, I hate when these bozos try to assert dominance by crushing the bones in my hand when giving me a handshake. You know, you ever shake hands with a guy and it's just like, why the fuck are you shaking my hand so hard? Why are you trying to break my hand bone when greeting me? That doesn't like make me think like, wow, what a man. Wow, what a man. Wow, I want to do business. Well, I want give money. Ouch. I want do business. You fucking caveman. Ouch. I want do business with strong man. Man strong. Business good. Take money. If he gives me a limp handshake, I make him do it again. Yeah? Yeah, dude. If I don't shake your hand hard enough, you're going to make me run it back turbo? If I don't fucking shake your hand, you're going to make me do it again? No, do that handshake again. I'm going to shake your hand. I want to shake his hand. You know that video with the guy in the plane? I'm going to shake his hand. Let me find it. Hold on. Yeah, here it is.
Shake your hand. I'm gonna shake your hand. Shake your hand. I'm gonna shake your hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. Pull me off the fucking plane. I want to shake his hand. That's all I want to do.
God, that's such a good reference. You know? Like, you shake a guy's hand super hard. What are you trying to prove, man? To me, it's a sign of insecurity. That's absolute beta activity. I don't even shake men's hands. When they extend their hand, I grab their wrist, twist them around, put them in a rear naked choke. That's how you do business. I don't shake men's hands. I start every meeting by challenging the man to an arm wrestling contest. That's how you do business. Sorry, bro. You're not Sigma. Sorry. You are not Sigma. Hold on. I have my Sigma detector somewhere. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. Meep. 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 Nothing. Meep. 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 Well, Sigma detector's never been wrong, so that's that on that. Okay. Last video. You know, normally we do three videos on the FOH HOF, but this one is so good that it counts as 2. There are 2 videos, but it's the same guy. You guys seen this redhead white rapper that is saying the N-word? His name is Jin Lee. Here it is.
Like, I want to punch about it. Like, Charlemagne, whoever, the first nigga that say something about this shit on a live interview, nigga getting packed out about this shit. By me, not by nobody, by me. Like, I want to, like, it's that type of timing, you know what I'm saying? So, really, the whole energy gonna change behind this shit. Like, I really been humble sitting in the back cooling, you know what I'm saying? But if I feel, I don't give a fuck if I just feel animosity from you, nigga, it's up, nigga, like. No, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, like, if I feel that way, then you did something to make me feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just no weird-ass nigga like that. Like, nigga, if you made me feel that way, I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? So everything that comes from me is going to be genuine. You know what I'm saying? So.
Take it easy, affirmative action, Bronson. All right? Jin Lee, which must be short for Ginger Lee, should probably move a little more gingerly around this topic. Yeah. Just dropping N-bombs, dude, you know? The gingerification of hip-hop. That's a good joke. Maybe he's just dyslexic and spelled ginger wrong. You know? It's a really good joke. You can do that one in your head. Think about it. Okay. I don't know, man. This is insane, right? This is crazy. If you can't see the video back home, it's just a huge, like 300-pound white redhead dude with like long red hair just saying the N-word.
Like, I want to punch about it. Like, Charlemagne, whoever, the first nigga that say something about this shit on a live interview, nigga getting packed out about this shit. By me, not by nobody, by me.
I mean, Paul Wall walked so this man could tumble down the worst hill to die on as a white rapper. Right? Way to just end your career before it could ever get started. And not only that, Rocky Dennis Jr. here is ready to punch about it. I mean, he is furious about not being able to say the N-word. He wants to punch about it, which is hilarious. And I'm going to start saying that, by the way. You know? This shit made me want to punch about it. I'm about to punch about it. I don't know why everyone's getting so worked up. He just wants to be able to say it without all the gatekeeping. You know? Come on. He's cosplaying. He's just cosplaying as a black guy that can say the N-word. What is it about white people that want to say it so bad? You know? Look. Look, Jin. I don't want to get packed up about this or anything, right? But my brother, you are not only white, you are super white. You're really white. You're like white, right? You were absolved of all melanin at birth. You don't even have a freckle of black or brown on that red-hued skin of yours. My brother, your Ancestry.com report would come back and just say, white, in bold letters. My cockinated brother, you look like a Viking. You know? Your ancestors forged fire on Mount Caucasus before laying siege on the Nordic people of Scandinavia. The only N-word you should be using is Norway when describing your roots. this video, I mean, this is... And then he puts out this video. He puts out this like response video to him going viral for obviously this, right? So here's this video.
Hey man, it's Jen Lee. You know, I've been going viral the past couple of days, so I just want to say a couple of things. First thing first, if y'all watched that fucking video, bro, and y'all heard anybody in that room say the N-word, y'all heard, if y'all's ears heard anybody say the N-word, y'all sick out your motherfucking mind, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody say the N-word around me getting packed the fuck out. Fuck is you talking about? But me, I'm a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say no N-word. I said nigga. Fuck is you talking about? And I'm around a bunch of my niggas. You know what I'm saying? And really like that. Really got that bitch on us. Really in the hood every day. Y'all marching up the wrong street. Y'all want to be Al Sharpton and MLK and all that. Man, y'all need to go by the courthouse. Y'all better walk up Main Street. Shit, y'all better go downtown somewhere, because these ain't the streets you want to be marching up.
Oh my God. If you heard anybody say the N-word, you're sick out your motherfucking mind, man. You said it. Dude, you just said it. Don't gaslight me into thinking I'm the one that's racist because you said it. Fuck, man, he is really about it and really has that bitch on him. I got to be careful, dude. I mean, he really got that bitch on him. I'm walking up the wrong street now, dude. This guy tried to complete a sign-in trade to the black delegation on his own, but the league commissioner denied his request. The reality is, you know, whether you agree with it or not, words carry weight. And when you use a word tied to a history of pain and oppression, it's especially heavy. You can't claim the culture if you don't respect the weight of that word and respect the fact that most black people probably aren't cool with you using it. I'm a white guy. This isn't really I can't really, you know, all I can do is make jokes about this, right? But, you know, I'm a white guy that works in hip hop. I've had artists say like, oh, you can say it, bro. You know, I grew up in the Detroit area. I've got friends who are like, you can say it, bro. But I don't want to say it because guess what? A, I don't want to say it. And B, I know not everybody is going to be okay with me saying it. Because I probably shouldn't say it. And then for him to say, if you got a problem, do something about it, Al Sharpton, that feels especially fucking wild, dude. I mean, huh? Fuck, man, I really hope I don't get packed up about this one. I really hope I don't get packed up talking about this, you know? Look, Jen, I'm a comedian, all right? But my brother and Cassidy, like, why are you doing this, you know? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And I can already see my comment section, you know? If the word's so bad, why do black people use it to talk to each other? All right, fucking, you know? I don't even have to explain how stupid that is, right? I'm so fucking dude, I gotta wrap the episode. My brain is just like, you know? It's been a shit show of a week. I want to thank you guys for tuning in this week. No Just Ask Gino this week. Next week, hopefully we can be back with a more regular episode. But as you can imagine, my brain is like a little bit, it's elsewhere, right? So, we're going to wrap there. It's still about an hour, you know, still a good chunk of time with me. Yeah. Thank you for listening, guys. If you're listening or watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, because again, you can watch on Spotify now, which is really fun. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, send it to a loved one or an enemy, save it to your device. If you're watching on YouTube, which should be, make sure you tap that like button, smash the fuck out of that subscribe button, reach into that oil that ExxonMobil provided for you, and grease up that algorithm because, well, you're an old man. despite it destroying the environment. And until next week, as the world continues to burn around us, hopefully not, actually, thank you for listening. Good night, and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you gotta
What's it called again?
It's called Good Luck
Right, who's it with?
Gino.
Yeah, that's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes,
Good vibes.
good times. With Gino by your side, you'll be feeling fine. Every week, he's gonna bring the hype.
Woo!
Come on,
You know.
let's go tune in online. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino, it's gonna be a real delight. So get ready to laugh, learn and grow. Good luck, let's go.
Bitch.